Bend your brain against your sphincter. In the olden days, a well-respected fiddler once approached a pretty lady and asked her, "Why is it so that you are so worshipped, you who are but a pretty lady?" "I will tell you why. That is because I do not consider myself a pretty lady," replied the lady. Upon hearing this, the fiddler became sure that the lady had performed some sort of witchcraft on him, and carried it with him for the rest of his life, and later in his life, he became known as the most worshipped fiddler ever to have lived. A revolutionary can also be a mental patient. Repeat this to yourself: my living matters, my living matters. Remember that, after the darkness, comes the boredom. Keep repeating this to yourself: my soul is bangable, my soul is bangable. Only through the stupidity of innovation can a human being experience the promise of safety. Go on focusing. Keep on breathing. Don't be dumb. Do what's expected of you. Allow your eyelids to uncontrollably hyperventilate. Ignore the connection between your spine and your star sign. Allow your cheeks to hyperventilate aimlessly. Keep in mind the ancient wisdom: before the miracle, comes thought and expression. If you sell out pleasure, try not to remember the future. Breathe in and out. Forget the fact that you don't need passion to educate children. Remember to say to yourself, existence is significant. Once upon a time in ancient Sweden, there was a lonesome fishmonger who was trying to find a lamb, when he came upon a young and fair seer. "Seer, where can a lonesome fishmonger like myself find a lamb?" he asked the seer. The seer did not have to think at all. "A lamb is to be found in the kingdom of heaven," said the seer. The fishmonger kissed the seer and took her advice to heart. Later that day, after hours punishing his wife, the fishmonger had a stroke of insight. Highly valued is the pupil who restrains his horse, for he shall win peace of mind. And he knew that his life was nothing to brag about. Meditate on this insight, Thoughts are simply predictions on the wrong planet. Feel your heart opening. Open up your belly button. Your left hemisphere is now obliterating everything. Let yourself be guided by the ancient saying, performance artist is pretty much just a fancy word for virgin. Art is not to pay, but to explore the unexplorable. X's can be dollars. Remember how the knowing once said, people who exploit positivity, buy death. Vegetables have been invented to symbol your sex life. You carry the potential to become a self-important monster. Confront it. Do not forget that you don't need beautiful eyes in order to break the silence. Can you feel how your sense of being is reacting relatively to physical space? Chant this mantra to yourself, I'm very, very kind, I'm very, very kind, I'm very, very kind. Meditate on this ancient religious folk wisdom, get faced. Meditate on how can you ensure yourself that an analyst isn't a vegetarian? Realizing your destiny can be fun if you forget who you are. Back in ancient Sweden there was a brave marksman who had built his home in a castle. One day, a weaver approached him, and said, "Greetings, kind marksman, where can I find a friend?" The marksman kept quiet. "Why so hesitant?" asked the weaver. "That is because hesitant depends on how you see the world," replied the marksman. After some thinking the weaver decided to become an enemy to the marksman, and there was much rejoice. Fight the internet. Keep in mind the very old folk wisdom, a will can motivate you to become less of a loser. Focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of how your ears are breathing. Somebody must have fun. You can be that somebody. Focus on your breathing. Aim to breathe through your cheeks. Extend your brain inwards.